By the look of the video footage that came from two different angles, one from a drone and the other from the top of a building, it does look like there are many tens of thousands at this protest and possibly between 50 and 100,000 people. So the Victorian people are out for the third week running and they're speaking their mind about what Daniel Andrews is putting forward. It's the Flow Morning Show and it's time for us to have a look at some of the big issues from the weekend. And in Melbourne streets, there was a massive protest. Ricky Lambert joins me to discuss it. Ricky, a big protest in Melbourne about Daniel Andrews and his forthcoming bill for greater power.
No, there wasn't. I didn't see any. I was watching the ABC. I didn't see anything about a protest. What protest?
Yeah, I think that's the point here, isn't it? Not reported by some media. Other media reporting that just a very small crowd arrived into the Parliament House at Spring Street. Some say that there were a few thousand. Yet, by the look of the video footage that came from two different angles, one from a drone and the other from the top of a building, it does look like there are many tens of thousands at this protest and possibly between 50 and 100,000 people. So the Victorian people are out for the third week running and they're speaking their mind about what Daniel Andrews is putting forward.
Well, there's concerning elements even on the reporting there, Wayne. Either the media are feeling scared of the Andrews government, they don't want to report the actual numbers of people who turned out, or they're trying to help the Andrews government get these pandemic powers legislation through the Parliament. It's very concerning that you've got a government looking for more power and a media that seems to be putty in their hands.
Well, Victoria's Equal Opportunity and Human Rights Commissioner has expressed concern about the Victorian government's new pandemic laws. A spokesperson said the government needs to clarify exactly how the state's Charter of Human Rights and Responsibilities will apply if the bill's pandemic-specific powers are invoked. I mean, it seems that they're not the only ones that are concerned about it. In fact, if you go to social media, and I've got a feed full of it, it would appear that there just seems to be a massive question about Daniel Andrews and what he's proposing.
Well, what we're seeing in Victoria is, according to the media and the government, the Eureka stockade was two disgruntled miners. The Institute of Public Affairs, they have put out some commentary that I think really puts the other side that's been lacking in this debate. I know that there's some senior barristers who've put out some commentary saying the powers are like Stasi-like powers from East Germany. These are very strong statements from the IPA.
Well, the new research report that Daniel Andrews' pandemic bill, an attack on our democracy, is a publication that they put together, which they say is something that people should be reading. But I suspect that if a vote is being taken and those three independent members, that not that independent what we've been seeing in their way which they've been voting, if this does get passed, does it mean that the federal government or somebody else has to step in?
Well, the extent to which a federal government can step in is pretty limited. The states have got incredible amounts of power, which is always good when you've got a state government that does what you want them to do. But in this instance, it's hard for the federal government to step in apart from providing whatever support they can to those who are disgruntled about it.
Well, it's a very interesting week. We'll see whether or not the crowds and the numbers of people that have been marching in the streets, whether they will secede to this sort of thing, whether they'll come out in greater numbers next week and so forth. It does appear that there is a growing discontent with the Andrews government and its grab for power.